Der tríar an seo agus cúgnóid le got duine. Go raibh maith good, Carlock. Chur an fáilte raibh an bille seo ach freisin na lasathe atá ceangailta leis. I welcome this bill and the proposed amendments. Up to this point, the Irish Government has failed to introduce a new socio-economic status ground in equality legislation. The thrust of this bill, I believe, will go some way to ensure that Ireland meets its obligations both under EU and international law. This bill will in effect bring us into line with most progressive case laws across Europe. The amendments the bill proposes will prohibit discrimination on the basis of socio-economic status. We are all aware that people from areas regarded as being deprived or areas that have high antisocial or crime rates are being faced with significant discrimination, for example in gaining employment, promotion and other areas. It is a sad fact of life that even in this age people often have to disguise their home addresses for fear of being discriminated against when applying for a job or going for a job interview. Many people from my own constituency in Dublin North West have told me and come to me over such discrimination, and it has probably got worse during the long years of austerity and in fact almost certainly increased the instances of inequality. This amendment to the equality legislation will help break down the barriers to opportunity for people in lower socio-economic backgrounds. Discrimination also occurs in housing and education and is also often based on the grounds of socio-economic status. To their credit in the education sector, many colleges and universities are increasingly recognising that people from certain deprived areas or from lower socio-economic backgrounds are less likely to attend third-level institutions or go into further education. Many third-level institutions have and are putting in place positive initiatives which both open and widen access to third-level courses to students regardless of their socio-economic background. However, the reality is that students from certain areas regarded as being deprived or with high antisocial rates and so on are greatly underrepresented at third-level institutions. Today, many of these third-level institutions are taking the initiative and without the benefit of legislation are helping to tackle this social exclusion through innovative and targeted initiatives, often in partnership with businesses, the local communities and different organisations across the education sector. Such positive moves by universities and colleges allow students from such lower socio-economic backgrounds to realise their full academic potential. As a society, we have progressed when it comes to equality and rights, and the marriage equality referendum is an example of such progress. Discrimination against any person, whether on the grounds of religious, ethnic background, disability, mental health or gender, is an anathema to a progressive modern society. Over the years, I've met with constituents who have been afraid to give their addresses or the area they live in for fear of discrimination or bias when it comes to qualifications or even looking for jobs. Equality should mean equality, but that is not always the experience people have from working class backgrounds in particular. Even more so when they have a disability or suffer from mental health issues. A measure of any society is how we treat citizens, especially our young and our old, irrespective of their socio-economic background. The amendments of Section 2 of the Act of 2000 in subsection 1 is extremely important and should send out a strong signal that wherever you come from or whatever background or place you come from, people should be treated on a par. It's one thing legislating for issues of equality, but the only real judge is actions. And as we've seen on issues of travellers and minority rights, the state has failed. Changing the mindset requires education and long-term initiatives. This bill should send out a strong message. While it's not perfect and there are a lot of issues there, certainly, Minister, everyone should be supporting the thrust of this bill. Thank you.